Okay, last time I got short, but I was showing how to make the player face in the direction that you're moving towards or towards the mouse, and that's where we left off. So I'll repeat quickly because this is what this is going to be about more than collisions. So in the grid event, we have a facing initialized to 0, and this is to replace image angle because image angle affects the hitbox. It basically makes a bigger square, wider and taller square, and that makes it so that you get stuck in the walls. So instead of using image angle because you don't want to touch hitbox, we're going to use the variable facing, and then in the step event, where we find out the input direction of where we're trying to move, so maybe to the right, maybe to the left, maybe upwards, maybe in a diagonal direction, up right. So we check for the X and Y input, and if there is some type of input, we find the direction toward that input using 0, 0, and the input values, and this makes some type of grid, some type of square, and 0 being the center of the square, and then if the X value is 1, basically pointing right. If Y is -1, you're basically pointing up right. And same thing for up left. Maybe I should make a drawing out of it. But yeah, so that's why we're using 0, 0, because it's the center of the circle we're basically using to find the direction that we're trying to move towards. And then we use these two input values. And that's how we accelerate based on that. And that's what we're going to be using for the sprite direction. So we're going to be looking at towards we're facing. And then in the draw event, um, I don't know why I'm using draw self. Okay, this, oh yeah, I know why. This replaces draw self, which is actually this, but with image angle. That's the normal draw self function. So all we did is replace image angle with facing, and that's it. And cy is the default value for this one. And you can read at the bottom what each the one does. So sprite, sub image, x, y, x scale, y scale, rotation, color, and image alpha. Image alpha is the transparency. That's how wide and that's how tall the sprite is because you can make it bigger if you want to. And the image index is for the animation. So maybe you have 5 frames animation. That's what image index is gonna affect. So let's show what this results in. Okay, so first of all, there's no longer the collision bug that we had. If I go here and move down, it's fine, it works perfectly. Yeah, and the arrow points towards uh, the input. So if I go super fast and I go up, it's gonna point up immediately, but I'm still gonna be going left a little bit, and that's because of the acceleration. So the arrow, the sprite, points towards where I want to go, not towards where I am going. If I wanted to make it go where I'm going, it'd be slightly different. Instead of using the input, instead of using point direction, x input, y input, you'd be using um, your x val or v speed, x speed, whatever is the name of the variable you're using. Um, yeah, that's what you'd be using, and this would result in a slightly different behavior. So if I go there, it actually looks a lot better. I might leave it like that because the way we're dealing with acceleration and movement, at least the way I've been dealing with it so far, is um, yeah, you don't immediately move left, you don't immediately move up, you don't immediately move right. Instead, you accelerate in a direction, and then if you try to move in a different direction, you slowly accelerate there as well. So that's why the sprite rotates so smoothly, although I only have 4 buttons, right? I'm only using the WASD keys. So this makes for very, very smooth movement, and it makes me want to build a boat game. Like maybe a boat game where you have a turret on top of your boat and you're shooting at other boats. That could be fun. And with the slow friction, it kind of feels like it could be some type of boat, or maybe some type of weird robot tank game. Could be fun. And I want to change a few other things with yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that because this is great. So yeah, it looks fantastic actually, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Oops. Now because I'm only using this once, I don't need a temporary variable. Here it's pretty obvious what it does, but I'm gonna write it anyway because maybe I'll forget in a while. Make the player look towards where he is currently going, not where he wants to go. Okay, so yeah, okay, so that's pretty good. I didn't expect it to look that good. A few of the changes I had made was the acceleration and the friction and the maximum speed. I made it a little bit faster, the maximum speed. Made the acceleration lower so that's more like a boat. And I made the friction higher, closer to 1, so that it slows down more slowly, basically. And I could make this even more extreme if I wanted to. Sometimes I copy values like this, just so that I know I can revert back to the older values if I want to. Since I do this, then I do this. That should really look like a boat. Might do a good core as well, I'm not sure. Makes for it's interesting movement, that's for sure. Yeah, that's kind of fun to play with. That might go for a good spaceship game as well, maybe. With movement like that, it's pretty smooth. I don't know, I think it's interesting, it feels good. So, I think I'll leave it like that for now. And yeah, and it will mean that movement will affect where you can shoot. And it's with WASD again. That's not some type of press A or press the left arrow to rotate the thing, and then when it's done rotating, then you can move forward in the direction you want. That's not it. It's just WASD controls. So that's all it is. If I set the acceleration to 9, yeah, it should work. Because there's a maximum speed, it won't blow up. It's gonna be fine. So yeah, that's what it looks like if I increase the acceleration. So it's instantaneous, but it still slows down slowly. So sometimes maybe you want the player to accelerate fast, but you want it to slow down slowly, maybe for more precision, so that the player, I don't know, maybe that's what you want in the game. Yeah, it feels a lot more arcadey with infinite acceleration. There's one thing I wanted to change about the collisions.